So I am behind. I've been very busy, so I'm just now catching up with a lot of things that have been starting to be released this year. I mean, it's the end of March. We're not. It's not even that crazy. Probably could have been like, hey, I saw Dune Part 2. But, like, everyone's seen that. And, we all know how we think about it. It's an amazing movie. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Anyway, so we're going to talk about something terrible. So, of course, like, as the title says, this is about Madam Web. And, again, uh, obviously everyone has said this movie sucks. Yeah, it's not good. But I guess, like, to compare it to Morbius, because everyone keeps comparing it to Morbius, this is a little bit better than Morbius, and that's not saying anything. I graded this like half a star more than Morbius. You know what I mean? I gave Morbius a 1 star. This is a 1.5 star. And deadass, that half star is because Adam Scott's in it as Ben Parker. Nothing else. It is literally nothing else. If not, it would be graded on the same level. It's all terrible. Yeah, so I guess I'll just mention the plot stuff. So, uh, Dakota Johnson, who is someone very much never realizes she's in a movie. I feel like she deadass just like shows up on set and is like, hey, here's your script for the day. Even she just shows up. They're like, here you go. She's like, what? Huh? Because like, I've only seen her in like 50 Shades, and I think I remember her hosting SNL, but I don't really like watch that shit. But anyway, her acting is not good, and I feel like she constantly wants to like. Not, it just appears like she doesn't want to be an actress, but just because like she is a nepo baby, so she's just able to just kind of come in and do all this stuff, be like practically naked for a horrible like book for movie, all that stuff. And I love how she's very much like, oh yeah, this movie sucks. I was in this movie, and it sucks. And it's like, people are like, oh my god, that's so funny she did that. But I'm like, I think this is just her MO. She did that for fucking 50 Shades. She was like, oh yeah, me and Irish guy didn't really get along. Fuck that shit, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, my god, man. Like, I'm all for honesty, but Jesus Christ, you can't even, like, fake it just a little during promo just to be like, but sure. But anyway, so her character is Cassie Webb, and she was born from spiders and stuff. No, I'm joking. So I love how it's like the mom is like really interested about spiders and she's like very pregnant. And maybe it just the actress had like a longer torso or something, but like the pregnant stomach looked like it was in her crotch. Like, as a fat person who has a stomach that sticks out, like her fucking pregnant stomach wasn't like, this is just fat, but like her pregnant stomach usually starts around this area. You know what I'm saying? Pregnancy stomachs go around here. Again, mine's all fat, but hers, like the way how it was in the movie, she turned to the side and her stomach looked like it was down here in the crotchal region. Like it started down here, I was just like, I was already just kind of like taken, like, with the movie. Oh, besides that, before seeing the terrible, like, stomach, there's choices made but with the camera work. And like the mom and the guy who was later obviously the bad guy, because obviously when they talk, like they just suddenly are like, yeah, and blah blah blah, dialogue, and then the guy's like, yeah, dialogue. And it reminds me of like Live Free or Die Hard, when they were like, when that movie, they were just like, we're in Russia right now, we're over here, like it's like the movie just like constantly is like, so we're just but that's like, that movie does that. I just kept being like, stop. It was just, they were just going, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Hold on. Okay, cool. Didn't want to get so close to my goddamn mouth like that. But anyway, so yeah, it's like, she's all pregnant about to pop, and then she's like, oh, all these spiders, all these things. And like, the wood spider people, they're all bound to, like, with the sexy fishnet rope thingies that look like spider webs. They all crawl downward on trees because that's what they do. And then they save her. She's like in like the pond of the. I'm about to make a Batman reference, but whatever. Ra's al Ghul went in, that kind of thing. She's just like in there, like dead, and they're like, oh, she'll be fine, and all of a sudden, like this 4-month-old baby comes out of the water, and they pull that baby out. I'm like, that baby's 4 months old. It was like, I was like, wow. She just popped out a 4-month-old. Maybe that's why the stomach was so low to the crotch. She was in the midst of just, the baby's like, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, you know? um, so the story's stupid because the guy is like, he has precog, but only one thing he precogs, and it's just like, in the future, these 3 women in tight outfits are gonna come and kill me, and I have white hair, and he's like, my life, I'm so devastated, I have to kill these women, and it's like, that's just like his life. It's like, oh, I just have to kill these young ladies. And that shot, I remember that was like the teaser trailer when there was like the 3 girls in their outfits kicking ass, all that stuff, and killing him, I guess. I remember because it's in a dream, it's so like, it's just like this. And I remember when that was put in, like, that was like the teaser trailer, I remember being like, what? It felt like The Flash, where everything was like, could you tell it's CGI? But okay, now looking in the context of it makes more sense because it's a dream sequence, so it has that blah 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 blah, not just someone going, yeah, that's what we're doing, like with the Flash movie. But still, like the shot with the 3 girls like kicking ass, all that stuff. It reminds me of like when cosplayers do videos and they're like, we're those characters, we're gonna act out a scene, and it's just kind of cringy. And no matter how good the costumes are, the acting is very subpar. It's like you got this great costume and they're like, hi, I'm here to fight. And and as someone who makes and wears costumes, that's like, I don't make those videos obviously, and then when I get asked to do it, I'm usually just like, do you want me to say something or do you want me to act it out? Most of the time they don't ask me to say something, because the moment they say hi to me and then this voice comes out, especially if I'm in a femme character, they're like, oh, I think I asked the wrong person here, I'd be like, what? What's up, man? I'm just dressed as Rogue from X-Men. I'm just saying, what's wrong? Just get more truck driver in my voice. But anyway, so it just, that felt really cringy. And then um, like, I don't think they really, oh, I was gonna say they didn't explain why Dakota Johnson, no. The reason why Dakota Johnson starts getting involved is because there was like this accident on a bridge, and she's an EMT and all that stuff. Her with Ben Parker, Adam Scott, and she ends up in the car. They freed the victim, but she goes in, hits the water, so she ends up with head trauma. The head trauma, like ramps up her powers or something, because God, how old is she? I forgot what year they said the beginning was. It was like 1973 or something. So let's just say she's in her 30s. Usually, how it's always like, once you hit 13, your powers happen. Once you hit 18, your powers happen. I guess it's like, once you hit 35 and you conk your head in the fucking Hudson, ha ha, so she starts seeing all like the weird stuff, like, ooh, and then she starts getting precog stuff. And initially, it's just kind of like, she's kind of like reliving, like a thing will happen, like Adam Scott's taking her blood pressure, and then she's like, ah, and then like a loud noise will happen, like the ripping of the blood pressure thing, or balloon popping or something. Then she kind of like repeats the scene again, and she's always like, huh, what? And then like, I love how it went from like, huh, what? This already happened. And everyone's like, what? Okay, huh, what? To quickly like it happening in like flashes, like the Matrix, where you're just like, I see the thing, I see the precog, I see, all of a sudden it's like, this is gonna happen. What? Oh, I gotta get the girls over there. Oh, what? Like it starts like happening faster and faster because it's superpowers. We don't know how it develops. It develops quickly. Oh my God, she's so cool. And I love how this movie, like, there's some parts where it's obviously they had to shoot in New York for the sake of New Yorkness, and there's other parts where I was like, that's Boston. And then I looked up on IMDb, and it was like, hey, they filmed it in Massachusetts, and I was like, because there was a thing when it came to, like, they were in Grand Central, and then when they went to what I think should have been Metro North, But then, like, I was like, what is this train car? Like, the inside of the train car, I was like, maybe it's LIRR, because I think it stops there now. But then I was like looking, I was like, anyway, this is where like I complain about things being filmed in New York inaccurately part that I always do anytime a thing takes place in New York, and I go, that's not part of it, and everyone's like, why you keep harping on that? Sorry. Anyway, so she gets like the so anyway, yeah, precog, all that stuff. Somehow, like, there is a bit of connection with the three girls to her. Like, one of them lives in her apartment with her. The other one, she almost like ran over while she was driving her ambulance. And then the other girl's like, oh, she had saved her like stepmom or something. And it's like, ooh, connection. I just loved how like the one was like, the other two, it's like, okay, you live in the same building, you saved that girl's stepmom, and you almost ran me over, which I find really funny. And and so yeah, like it like I said, it's less terrible than Morbius, mainly because it's not Jared Leto, and he's like just and Jared Leto can never go like Nicolas Cage level of fully just taking that role and just saying fuck it, and we're all in it. We're just like, shut up, man. Dakota Johnson's so fucking like not even two-dimensional. She's like one-dimensional. She's just kind of like there, like, I'm here. I'm always like, anytime she delivers a line, 50 Shades or this, she's always like, yeah, so we were just, okay, I guess, I was just, how to, like, it kind of worked with her character, 50 Shades, because she's supposed to be like, but like here it's like her supposed sarcasm and apathy, and then I get like the voice I guess worked for the apathy because she's so like, but I don't know, like I don't. It's like she's supposed to be the protagonist, and we're supposed to like her, but it's like you know, like as the audience, we do like characters who are kind of a bit of an asshole at times. It seems more relatable. If they're a little too goody two shoes, you're like, I don't fucking like care. But she's so apathetic that you're kind of like, bitch, come on. Like when the little kid gives her a drawing to be like, thanks for saving my mom, and she's like, oh god, what do I do with this? What do I do? Like, oh god. And it's like, really, bitch, like, I don't fucking like kids myself, and if a kid gives me a drawing, I'd be like, thanks? I'd just be kind of confused, but I'd just be like, cool. Oh, like, I'm like, all right. Like, I love how Adam Scott's like, I don't know, put it in your pocket and throw it away later. Like, what the hell? You know? I'm just like, cool, thanks, kid. Like, it's just, my god, like, if I'm telling you you're being a little much with how you're treating, with how you're around kids, I feel like that says a lot as someone who's just not a fan of children, you know? Anyway, so oh yeah, so obviously because it's Ben Parker, and his sister is Mary Parker, and she's pregnant with Peter Parker, and there was like this little funny thing of like, what's his name? And they're like, Stephen Greg, and then they're like, what is Ben? And of course they never say his name, but it's also like, duh, kind of thing. It's funny how it's Emma Roberts as Mary Parker. I mean, because Emma Roberts like isn't really doing much. Is she still doing American Horror Story? Is anyone still watching American Horror Story? Like, not this bitch. I've not caught up, But yeah, like, I mean, pretty much once they put like Kim Kardashian in there, I was like, let's not. But yeah, so whatchamaffuckit. So the sorry, that was weird. I was like, what's that sound? So yeah, they go on. I forgot why they needed to go on the train to go somewhere. I don't remember. But anyway, the Dakota Johnson's like, girls, let's get off the train, da da da. And then the bad guy is in like a black Spidey suit, crawling on the walls, all that stuff. And initially I was like, is that like a figment of her imagination? Or is that really something there? But the girl saw it too, so I was like, okay. And then later on I thought the girl just went along with it because she was like, well, this older woman looks like she's kidnapped because we might as well comply instead of getting hurt. But then later on, I realized, no, they did see it as well. I'm just trying to write a better movie in my head, as always. So she steals a taxi and drives off. And while that's happening, and like they end up in the middle of the woods, all I kept thinking is like, so they went to Jersey? And later, as like, 10 minutes later or something, the movie does say, hey, they're in blah, blah, blah part of Jersey. Because I'm like, you're in the middle of Manhattan, and then you just drive off and there's woods. And I'm like, yeah, would you like crash it in fucking Central Park or something? But yeah, they drove it into Jersey, and then there's like, oh, there's a diner, of course, Jersey. And then the girls are like, the black girl has money. She comes for money, so they're hungry. Instead of like staying by the vehicle, they're like, let's go, da da da. Somehow they were just like, let's figure out going that way in the woods, and then there's a diner at the side of the road, and they were so close to the road. Oh my god, it's like the Blair Witch movie where they're just like 20 feet from the fucking road the whole time. I mean, never mind. Anyway, that's just stupid. So they go in the diner and they're eating and all that stuff, and then there's like cute boys in the corner. Oh my god, there was cute boys in the corner. Hey. And of course they have to be like, let's flirt with the cute boys. Flirting with the cute boys. Oh, I'm old. I just like, oh, you heard that? My neck just went. That's why I can't flirt with the cute boys, because they snap my neck all the time. And then I die. Anyway, so they flirt with the cute boys, and then Britney Spears' Toxic plays, and I just went, whoa, 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 time out. Being that person again. This movie takes place in 2003. Toxic didn't come out until 2004. Because I remember I heard that. I was like, that doesn't seem right, I was like, that doesn't make any damn sense. But fine, whatever. The plot tells me that this came out, earlier. Sure. God damn. It's like fucking, it's like that latest Transformers movie where they're like, yeah, we have all this happening. And I was like, but Waterfalls from TLC didn't come out till like a year and a half later. Oh, that's an old, Wu-Tang logo. That didn't come out for That's why no one's my friend, because I point out annoying things like that. But anyway, so she gets the precog. I mean, you don't realize it's precog at first, but she gets the precog of the girls getting fucked up by the guy at the diner. But then she realizes she's precog, and she's like back at the taxi. Then she drives the taxi around, and then there's like a log truck, because why not? Recently, I was behind a log truck. It wasn't full pieces of log, but bits of log. That's enough. That's scary. And then there was like a hazardous chemical, like gas, whatever, truck on this side, and then there was a oil tanker on the other side, and then my mom goes, why did you choose this road? And I said, why did you stay behind the log guy this entire time, mother? Anyway, so she drives the fucking taxi into the fucking diner, saves a girl, somehow the vehicle's still running, sure, they stop at a motel somewhere, and they're like, we gotta lay low and all that stuff, but she's like, you girls stay in this motel, I'll be back in a few days. So she goes to like, I think Mexico or somewhere, and then finds like the spider place, because she has like this suitcase thing full of all the info from her mom, the lore. And so she just like goes back there, and then the guy who like helped birth her and all that stuff was like, you're back to he's like, you're back now to understand why you're here. And then he gives the the great power, great responsibility speech, but instead of saying it like that, with great power comes great responsibility, he says, once you accept the responsibility, then you will accept the power. And I was like, ah! And then cut to, who cares, cut to third act, they're like, they're on like a building that's like collapsing and all that stuff, and then black Spidey suit guy is there, just like, oh, but he has to take off the mask so it's him, not a stunt guy. And all three girls are like hanging on to like scaffolding and building, like, oh no. And then she's looking like, oh god, and the guy's like, you can't save all three of them at once. Like, I keep comparing this to Batman. There's a lot of very similar with this. And then she ends up like astro projecting, like, to help all three girls. And I love how one of them was like, give me your hand. Okay, you got this. Give me your hand. And then the other girl who's there, she's like, you'll be fine. It's like, you'll be fine. Like, what? She's like, astro projecting, blah, like that. And then the guy's like, wait, what the hey? And she's like, ah! She ends up falling into the water. More head trauma, falling into the water, because she didn't get enough of that the first time. Also, she had like actually died for like, I think they said 3 minutes, but yeah, more head trauma and all the stuff raining down, and then something like fiery hits her in the eyes, which is funny because I think it looked like it hit more like off to the side, but whatever, it hit both her eyes. She's like, you know, hit her eye. Sydney Sweeney goes down, saves her, and then now she's the character Madam Web, who is a paraplegic who's blind. So like Oracle, again another Batman reference, but not Oracle's not blind, but you know what I mean. And like she's in like the recovery and all that stuff, and they're saying how like, oh, like Mary Parker is so happy with the baby, and Ben is so happy to be an uncle, and then one of the girls says something along the lines of like, yeah, it's was it like all the perks without the responsibilities, and her ass all bandaged up, she's like, ha 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 ha, that's what he thinks. And I'm like, so did you already get the precog of him like having to be dad and then dying, like, like you have to see Mary Parker die, like, you know like what? And then she delivers that line so cunty too. And again, I'm all for that. But for like this kind of character, like, God, could you soften it up and be like a kind person? That's coming from me. She was all like, haha, that's what he thinks. I've already seen that he's dead. Like what? Anyway, yeah. So of course, like the movie ends. There's no after credit scene. There's none of that whole stuff, which thank God. Like, what were you gonna tell us? Like, at least this didn't like sequel bait it. I mean, I guess it kind of sequel baited, but it didn't sequel bait it like Morbius did. Like that one was like a full on like Shyamalan's like The Last Airbender kind of thing, like that kind of sequel baited. This one was more like, all of us could, her fucking lines are like, all of us could just, do that. And you see like the three girls come down, they're like, woo, and you see the web stuff and her astral projected ass just like above her. I swear it's like Anne Hathaway exists, and then people just want more Anne Hathaways, and they just like they can't get the formula right for more Anne Hathaways. So we got Anne Hathaway, and then we got that girl who was in that movie, was it Flesh or something? And Daisy something, I think that's her real name. And she's better. They mixed it better. They got it close. They got it close with the Anne Hathaway mix. And I feel like with Dakota Johnson, they were trying to go for like a derpy Anne Hathaway or something, but she's just like, I mean, talk about brain damage. That's what she's brain damage, freaking Anne Hathaway. But anyway, so yeah, that I almost said that was Morbius. That was Madam Web. I'm glad I watched it. I mean, of course, if a movie is terrible, I'm gonna see it. If a movie is good, I take longer to. I'm like, for fuck's sakes, I took like fucking 5 to 6 months to finally see Oppenheimer. It's probably gonna be 3 months until I see Dune Part 2. I mean, I know what happens with that because of the book, and then because of the freaking Lynch movie. So like I know. So it's not like anything I'll be like, oh no, spoilers or anything. But yeah, so that was that. Just seeing if there's any other terrible movies on my list. Not yet. Nothing seems to be, awful. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, Madam Web, it's not great. I mean, again, oh my god, I almost forgot to say, oh my god, my camera's about to overheat. I forgot to mention, the movie has good color grading. That's another reason why it has half a star more than Morbius. It has good color grading. Again, I can't with the zoom in and stuff, but it does know how to use its lighting properly, so color grading and lighting, because in a lot of Marvel movies, because there's stuff shot at night, and it's nighttime, but it's not like, like fucking that one episode of Game of Thrones where it's just like this, like, so yeah, they knew how to shoot it, like the regular stuff, they knew how to shoot it. I love when they have like driving scenes in New York and they try to make it look like things are happening fast. It's like, no, you ever drove in New York, she's got the ambulance and you're like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I'm like, sure, girl, that's what's happening. But anyway, like, at least they were able to do it for Jason Bourne and with Batman, but they probably had better permits to like block off roads, But anyway, now I'm done talking. Madam Web.